Hi guys, I have pillowcases. Look, that's the courtesy of my mother. I'm missing two pillowcases. The spouse, uh, she didn't want my mother to give these to me. The spouse wants me to move out of this room because someone finally called and said he wants to rent the room. But a lot of them call, some of them don't even show up. And then once they come, I don't know, I guess they're expecting a bigger room, I don't know. Uh, what can I tell you? So last night, I've been listening to this radio station when I was driving years ago, and the Map to Success. What was that name of that? I used to have it on the wall, and I have the website somewhere. It's about uh, achieving financial freedom on the roadmap to success or something. And the main announcement was be honest in all your dealings, following Christianity, right? So the main thing is, can I work? Yes, I can work. Do I like to work? No. Why did you stop working and why don't you work, Daniel? Alright, so I don't work right now because I don't have a car. Don't want one. Because if I had a car, then I gotta work, right? What I would like right now is really just to go to school and learn to fix cars or learn carpentry. But at the same time, the only thing I really want is freedom, and that is I can work as long as my son is next to me or my daughter. I have been helping her. I made those videos private, but I've been helping her set up her basketball hoop. She's using the socket wrenches, and so the progress is very slow. We've been at it for what? I've helped her at least on 4 occasions, and we haven't finished yet. She's even gone shopping to buy some bolts or nuts. I'm not sure which is the word. And she went with her mother. Ooh. 6 o'clock in the morning, people. It's fun. I did sleep all night. That was great. So, for instance, the spouse says, you're not going to go get disability? And I say, no, I'm changing my mind. I don't want any blood work. I already did blood work like what? A year ago? And when I was incarcerated, one of the nurses in the hospital jail said that my brain is different from everybody else's, and that's why I need these pills. But I still didn't take them. And then she said, if you don't take them, you're going to get them injected. That's what I've seen everybody around here. So I took the pills, they let me out, and then I haven't taken the pills again. Because those pills, if you think you have freedom now, you definitely know when you don't have it. I mean, you can barely say your name when you have those pills. You're like, I mean, it slows you down. I'm like a turtle, all right? I don't move much. I'm in bed most of the day, except when my kids want to do something. In fact, some people would not be able to keep up with me. I mean, I look very slow. I look very slow. But then at the same time, when the nice evening comes and the freshness of the evening, I go to the park and I take the son with me, and I go on a bicycle. I let the dog pull me. And when the dog is pulling me, my son runs at the same speed. 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It would make a lovely video because it looks like he's moving fast, and he is. And the dog is pulling me. Alright, so I've been threatened so many times that I'm going to go back there. It's God's will, it's God's will. If you don't see me again and I'm thrown in jail, or not jail, but the hospital jail for 1,000 years or whatever, until my death, I would like to prevent it. The only way I could prevent going to jail is actually to move out of this house. But I'm not going to leave my son here. I'm not going to steal him and go to Poland or anything like that. I mean, I don't have the money, and I don't have... it would be wrong because he would miss his mother. And his mother is not that terrible to him. I mean, the reason he's an athlete is because she cooks, you know. Now, I'm against her buying Coca-Cola, and now she's recycling the cans, which is interesting. It's very interesting because she's the type of person that doesn't want to recycle, all right? She doesn't want to because it's extra work. She doesn't want to, I mean, recycle in her own little home with the bottles and the plastic and the aluminum cans. Ooh, excuse me. She doesn't want to recycle. But she doesn't want to go to the recycling center either, because over there she says she's going to get a flat tire from so much junk on the floor. And it takes, what, 4 hours to pick up 160 pounds of they called it metal. I called it aluminum, but they said it was just metal. Something about the magnetism in it. If you're going to be into recycling, you gotta carry a magnet. Ooh, excuse me. So, where will I end up? Well, here, you know, Spanish people are very proud. Like, she got a phone call from the lady that has the husband that fixed our lawnmower. And so she went to pick up the lawnmower, and the lady didn't come out of the house to say hi or anything. So that tells you how much friendship she wants. Zero. And her husband was very polite. You know, he didn't charge us anything, and I was like, well, okay. And then the spouse is thinking, well, I'll go buy him a cake or a pie or something as a thank you when she gets the food stamps, which is not yet. So, what can I say? And the only reason I went to meet the husband is because I was in the car and I didn't have a chance to jump out. We had just finished recycling when she got the cell phone call, and she said, "Here, answer it." I'm like, I don't want to answer your phone, but okay, you're driving. Hello, the lawnmower is ready. Oh, okay, thank you. She said, "Let's go." All right. So I will, let's see, what can I do? What are my options? This Christianity thing is really difficult, you know. I mean, sure, I've had thoughts of running away from these strange people, right? But that would just protect me. That would not protect my son. Like, the daughter was crying yesterday, and from what I heard, because I don't speak to her about it, she's one of the women, belongs to the women tribe. And it was just because this time she didn't like the new glasses she got, or the ones that she ordered over there, because apparently they have the Medicaid glasses, and then they have the ones that people like, which are more expensive and you have to pay extra. So what happened, she didn't like them. She didn't bring them home or anything. And hers, they have a Scotch tape on them. And I don't feel bad, because I believe my daughter wanted the glasses a couple of years ago only because she wanted to look different, as a personality thing. That's my opinion. I could be way wrong. And I used to tell her, if you don't need glasses to read a book, please don't use your glasses to read a book. But she would keep them on anyway. So now I believe her vision is worse. But the girl is very intelligent, and she has an attitude that you don't know anything, Daniel. So some people, when you're out there and you have advice and you tell people everybody should know how to block and things like that, some people are insane in the sense that I want to teach you how to block, right? How to move things, block. But some people, like I met one man, he was a counselor, used to come here. He said that he was the boss of a man that punched him in the nose when he got fired. And number one, if you're going to fire somebody and you might have that reaction, you should know better. Not be in the room by yourself when you fire him. Do it by a letter and a phone call. Have the police there while you fire him. I mean, you should think ahead, So he said that was 20 years ago. Of course, he's older like me, right? Older guys. And I asked him, have you taken any steps to correct that situation? Meaning, have you learned how to any self-defense since then? And he said, no. I mean, you are a completely feminine man. I mean, I didn't tell him this, but he is. How can you get punched in the nose and then not learn anything? At the minimum, even as a kid, when the big boy next to me in the classroom, when he said, I'm going to kick your butt, and I ran around the room, all right? I did something. Hey, I'm proud of it. Right in front of the girl I liked, Adriana, and the other girl I liked, Teresa, and Melissa, and Lisa. I mean, I ran around the room, Diana. I ran around the room in front of all of them. Oh boy. That's self-defense. Running away is self-defense. So some people, they just don't want to listen, don't want to learn, and they're your family, and just leave them alone and get away from them. My grandpa was very proud in the sense that he was a Italian descendant Honduran, which means blue eyes and different from all the mestizos and all the blacks and all the people that are different color skin. And he said my house was in front of the president's house of the company, because they had the United Fruit Company back then, and everything was really segregated. The blacks lived on the beach, and they were the workers to load the ships and unload the ships. But all the mestizos or Indians were the ones that cut down the bananas from the trees. I don't know who worked at the box factory and who worked in the ice factory, and that was about it. And then the railroad. All right. So my grandpa says, I made it. My house was in front of the president's. And that tells you how respected he was, because only the Americans from the United States, by the way, were allowed to live in that section of the town. And so my mother, another story, played golf. And then she was explaining to the girls that were not allowed to go to the golf course how you play golf. And she grabbed a stick of wood that had a nail in it, and she swang, is that the past tense? And she hit herself on the leg, and the nail went in, and she pulled, and then the other girl left as soon as she saw the blood. And then my mom pulled the nail out, pulled the wood out, took a shower at home, and went to bed. And the next day, of course, she had a fever, and she heard "ay" and "ouch," right? When she was putting on her skirt, the skirt touched that spot where she was injured, and so her mother went over and said, "What's wrong?" And that's when she finally told her mother, and she had to get a shot. I think it's called tetanus. Oh boy. Live your life like an adventure. You do need to protect yourself though, but how do you do it when it's your own family, your mother and your spouse? They both threatened me, but they threatened me many times. We're going to throw you in there if you don't do the disability. And all they have to do right now actually is call the cops and say that I haven't taken the pills, because I only took them when I was in there to get out of there, both times. The first time actually I was lucky. I got out of there. Well, when I was in there 5 days, I started taking the pills, because I said I want to get out of here, and I'd seen people leave, and I was still there. But the way it works is they're going to keep you there because they're making $800 a day that you're in there. And the second time, on the first night, the nurse told me, if you don't take it, you're gonna. I've seen everybody here, and they get it injected if you don't take it. So I said, okay. And then when you take those pills, guys, it's almost like those bear traps that bears step on, and the clamp closes on the bear foot or on the dog foot, coyote foot, something, wolf foot. It's almost like that. You have like these metals. The pills actually become like metals to where you can't think. So I don't want to go back in there. Boy, that means I'm up against the wall. What to do? Hmm. And you see, the police, they don't listen to you. They pretend to, but they already have their decision. Oh, you got a phone call? That's a Baker Act case. All right. Oh, he's been Baker Acted twice before? All right, that's easy. All right. So what's next? As my mother is insane. The spouse is a fearful person. She lives on fear. She's afraid DCF will take the kids away. She's afraid. What else? She's afraid of not paying the bills. She's afraid of people's opinions. She's afraid, like, if she sees these videos, she won't understand. It's in English, but she speaks enough English. I mean, she'll have to really concentrate to see what I'm talking about here. She doesn't sit still. She doesn't watch a 2-minute video. She doesn't watch a video with me when when it's about cats. All right, so like on YouTube, I used to like send videos to her and say, "Watch this one with me. It's so funny." She doesn't have time for that. So, all right, let me tell you about her. What have I done to her? Well, she says I have given her arthritis. In a way, I have, because she gets so angry with me. I even got a doctor to tell us not to come back. All right, well, the doctor didn't say that. The spouse says that I'm causing, no, the doctor says that I'm causing the spouse's arthritis problem. And that, yes, the mind can affect the body. And the mind can affect the body if you're angry all the time. Yes, that will cause your arthritis. They already have it, but the thing is, the mind can make your body hurt. I use the word psychosomatic. I think that's the word that goes with it. And that doctor, she was afraid of me. She was old, and basically all I did was tell her, "Oh, I'm angry at the world, but I have a smile on." I'm angry at the world, and people have done many things to me. Now, I did that only because I needed to get the disability check. But she's not the one that does the real mental thing. Because these guys, these doctors, they know. She's a medical doctor, whereas the psychologist, he says, "Oh, I know what you're doing. You're pretending." I mean, they don't tell you this, but they could, I guess. But you have to go through one doctor to see another, and so you have to tell them a story. Yes, I'm angry at the world. The world is not perfect. Big deal. The schools don't teach anything worthwhile. Elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. High schools are a waste of time. There should be cameras all over the schools. But that's not happening because you got these kids that are under protective custody and things like that. So that doesn't work. Alright, so now I don't go to doctors. I went to see one the other day, and she said, "Oh yeah, you're schizophrenic," and I'm like, I didn't even answer that. I said, I don't think so. I don't think I answered it. I mean, it was the first visit. She gave me an EKG, and she said, "Oh, your heart's fine, but I need a blood test for the pills and all that." I did want to tell her that I couldn't take the pills because they're. I mean, she even told me those things are toxic. You could die on me because you're taking the pills. And I didn't tell her anything because the spouse was there. Otherwise, I would say, "Doctor, I'm being forced to come. I'm being forced to tell you, all right, this is it. This is my one confession. Doctors, I am being forced to come see you. If I don't come see you, they will Baker Act me." I'm talking about the spouse and the mother that I have. Originally, all of this started because I wanted to get on disability. They said, "Get it, it's for your children, da 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 da." So I said, okay. But then a lawyer told me that if I don't take the pills and I don't go see the doctors, then they won't give me a disability. So that was the first advice. He said, "Help me win the case, you know." It didn't say that, but he said, I mean, that's just, what am I doing? I'm your lawyer, and if you're not going to go see the doctor and take pills. So then other people told me, all right, take half the pill or a quarter of the pill 5 days before the drug test, so that it shows that it's in your system. But then the Bible says, be honest in all your dealings. And what? By the way, she drove me around. When I was holding on to the hood of that car, she drove me around the neighborhood. Now, I closed my eyes because I didn't want her to look at me, and then she would not look at the road, and God forbid a little kid would run out or something, you know. And then she would make the situation worse. And I was barely holding on. I mean, I don't know how these movie stars make it on TV, but it's bull. I mean, it's very difficult to hold on to the hood of a car. And she must have been going maybe 15 miles an hour, maybe 10, I don't know. A neighbor saw me, by the way. Then I don't know if he saw me when the police took me away with handcuffs. But I know that I opened my eyes because I thought we had already parked. And actually we were turning to get on our street. And the reason she stopped is because the neighbor was also arriving in his car. So the neighbor was waiting for her, and she was waiting for the neighbor, and that's what can I tell you? Let's see. If only I could go back to Honduras right now. But again, I don't want to leave my son. In Honduras, I'd be very hungry. You know, who do I have over there that would give me food? Who do I have over there that would, if they've watched any of these videos, they know I talk about them. How would I eat? Or how could they bring in a strange man home? Oh, he's so-and-so's son. He's the cuckoo one. All right. He used to be the white sheep, and he's the one actually that turned out to be the bad son. Let's see. But then nobody really knows me. Nobody really knows me. I'm the one that reads to the child. I'm the one that does homework with the child. Now, I stopped doing homework when I was homeschooling, and after he went back to school, I stopped because I said, well, if I'm not going to get the glory of teaching him, then you sit down and do the homework with him. But she yells. She has zero patience to do homework, and then she doesn't understand what the homework is, and then he starts crying because the homework is a stressful moment. So I said, all right, I'll do the homework. Then we went to Spelling City, and I think that's the silliest thing, because all it is, I mean, if you want to spell the words, I'll read them to you and you spell them, and then you learn how to do it. That's how I learned. But in Spelling City, he has to type them in. So I said, all right, I'll type them in, because this thing, some of those things on Spelling City take too long. So I was doing that part for him. I was like, don't do this exercise. Always choose the other one, because this one just takes too long. All right. Enjoy your life. Be better than I am. Nobody knows the future except Don Bosco and Jesus, and who knows, maybe some other people. Saint Bosco, he was the guy that could predict when you were going to die. So he had written some letters and put them in some vault, and then he put a date on it. Don't open it until this date. And then that's when someone opened it and it said, I don't know if it said today or tomorrow, so and so is dying, or so and so has just died. When you read this, so and so has just died, and they were in another city or things like that. So I believe there is a God. I believe we're all here supposed to help each other. If you have any advice for me, let me know. Write a comment, send me an email, danieltheteacher@gmail.com. Enjoy your life. Be better than I am.